Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com with match number 1 with our Launch the Fleet. This seems like a pretty good hand. We have the perfect amount of mana. We have the Thaumaturge with Strive. And we're going up against the Dismal Backwater, which does mean Languish is a threat. But without a Languish and post sideboard, we should be able to deal with it. So let's go with a Temple of Enlightenment. I do want to land here, so I think I'll scry most things away unless it's really powerful. Definitely going to put the Battlefield Thaumaturge on the bottom, even though it does decrease the cost of the Ajani's presence. So I think we want the Vanguard out as soon as possible. We don't have any way to really pump up our cards, but we can apply pressure with, we have triple Launch the Fleet in our hand. He could have cards like Ultimate Price. It's not going to be quite going to be the Battlefield Thaumaturge. If this guy dies, though, we are in a world of hurt. I need it to survive. Ultimate Price is everywhere. I haven't seen Ultimate Price as much lately as when it was first spoiled. They're using a combination of Ultimate Price, Murderous Cuts, Heroes Downfalls, and Silence the Believers lately, and then other cards like Languishes, Perilous Faults, Drown in Sorrows. Drown in Sorrows is going to be particularly tough for this deck. In the past, to combat Drown in Sorrows, I have put cards like Dictate of Heliod, but if you're going to be running Dictate of Heliod, you usually have to run a higher land count. So Bile Blight is another card that's tough for the deck. We need to draw into another creature. We still need lands. The Launch the Fleets are going to be a bit rough. This is a particular matchup where a 1-drop would shine, because we would have had a 1-drop out and then would have been able to protect it with, well, actually with this one, not really with an Ajani's Pridemate, but it's going to be a Merc Lurker. I haven't seen this card forever. It's a great card versus the early aggressive deck. So it's going to be a Battlefield Thaumaturge here, and we are in not too great shape with the Battlefield Thaumaturge. We really need to hit a land drop here-ish. Doesn't decide to attack in. Defiant Strike is fine. We might just use it in response to something, but I do need to draw a card here. So I'll Defiant Strike. And there's the land. Not quite sure that I want to go Launch the Fleet quite yet. I'll attack in with a Battlefield Thaumaturge. But at least we're closer to Alright, so he's going to let it go through. That's perfect. Down to a 17. We have ways to protect our Thaumaturge. As long as it keeps that Lurker back, though, it takes care of any sort of soldier strategy. Still would like to hit like a land. Yeah, I don't even care about a Thoughtseize. I mean, it could have God's Willing in response. Just to scry. There's another route that I thought about with Battlefield Thaumaturge with an enchantment out of M15 that says whenever you if you lost life a turn, then you can put a soldier onto the battlefield. And what's really cool with that card is what we do is add red for a Crone Crusader, and that gives us our 1-drop that likes to flood the board. And then we also have it takes in Ajani's Presence. I think that's actually the weakest card. But then after we have access to Mana Confluence, Battlefield Forge, and Shivan Reef that create damage, and then you can just basically once per turn, each player's turn, you can usually put out a token. And against like matchups like blue, this ends up being an incredibly grindy matchup, and that card does very well. So we do hit another planes. I'm okay with that. I don't think that we attack in still. I could launch the fleet just to put a guy in the battlefield and then give them both indestructibility, but that seems like a waste. We will just lay low here and hopefully get a mentor out or something else that can go crazy. So he's going to take, what, the other Ajani's presence? And then this deck is going to try to fill up through a dig through time. Wish they would give us a better way to deal with the graveyard in Zendikar, but it looks like that actually putting things in the exile zone isn't the best strategy either, with Zendikar coming out. Yeah, you never want to see triple launch the fleet. Minotaur would be the best thing I could draw into. These heroic decks traditionally do well against black-blue control. You just establish that first threat. And then protect it from then on out. Their only hope is hitting like a well-timed Thoughtseize for the card you need in your hand. So Drown in Sorrow, there's nothing I can do against a Drown in Sorrow. This does allow me, if I do get a mentor, or Brahmaz, Valor Stances. Now I can kill it. I think that's worth it. We'll do it right now. And now it's just whoever can draw out of this. He does have 2 cards in hand, getting close to that Ugin. We'll cast a Seeker. Seeker's kind of weak in this one. Still dies like a Drown in Sorrow. I am thinking I might need to go a 1-drop. Maybe cut a Hangerback Walker and all the Seekers and put 4 1-drops in here. And Attorney's going to dig. And that was the card I was hoping to avoid. And he'll have 4 cards in hand. Ugin is also one of the saving graces versus heroic. There's very little you can do against the exile. There's a Perilous Vault. That's definitely going to be a roadblock. We'll Flooded Strand. I'll go get my 1-of Island. And at this point, we will launch the fleet. And at least get in here for 4. And that allows pressure. He'll have to blow the Perilous Vault eventually. And we just have to wait him out. I don't know if waiting out another Dig Through Time or an Ugin is the right plan. Definitely not going to launch the fleet again because that will be the end of me. With the, well, you know what, launch the fleet might not have been the worst thing to happen there, because then that would have baited out the Perilous Vault, and then I could have mentored. Like if I just launched the fleet for 1 on the Seeker. I think we just stay patient and keep attacking in. And the Mentor will be a very powerful card if he, for whatever reason, just floods out. Yeah, okay, so the Perilous Vault happens, and we'll Mentor. Do I launch the fleet right now? I don't think I do. Hopefully he doesn't have another Dig Through Time chilling in his hand. Usually that's what they go grab with the Dig Through Time, is 1 card and another Dig Through Time. I mean, they can only look at the top 7 cards, but he is full of a lot of powerful cards left in his deck. Might as well cast it. He knows I had the Gods Willing. He definitely must just have like a Drowned in Sorrow in his hand. And I'm thinking I want to put this on bottom because he has an answer. I want the Defiant Strike, but he has an answer, so a Languish or a Drowned in Sorrow is probably in his hand. Could be wrong, and then that ends up being the wrong play, and I could have overthought this. Well, there's a Battlefield Thaumaturge. We'll play it. Sure, we'll hit them all. Is that actually lethal if I... It's 4, 5, 6... So let's see, it's 3... See, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's lethal. So I go for it for sure. And hope he just doesn't have another card. Yeah, instant speed, what can he do? Murderous Cut the Mentor. No, that's... I cannot believe we pulled that off. That is crazy. Okay, so this is where negates, disdainful strokes, stubborn denials, seekers go bye-bye. They're pretty bad in this matchup. The Ajani's presence are actually not ideal in any way. Hour of Need is okay. Glimpse is bad. Valorous Stance is also... Valorous Stance is going to be worse than... Ajani's presence. But there's the Glimpse. And I do believe the Seekers... Like, if we go down in too little of creatures, though... Like, we do want creatures. But... I still think that it's... Do we even need a Battlefield Thaumaturge in this one? I want to keep a lot of my main cards in the mix. Since this is focusing on Battlefield Thaumaturge for this particular list. I think it isn't Ajani's presence. I think we have enough ways to keep our guys alive. Since we're bringing in like Stubborn Denials, Disdainful Strokes, and Negates. And that could also be the... He does run Hero's Downfalls, Bile Blights, though. I think that we can bring back in the Battlefield Thaumaturge and take out another Ajani's presence. And I am really, really tempted to bring back in the Seekers. But 19 creatures I think will be okay. Keep this. It's okay. Our opponent does have to mulligan to 6. Mentor is definitely one of the more powerful cards in our deck. If it gets thought seized out, then we're in trouble. Now we have another 2-drop. Not quite sure. I don't think I protect it. It's going to come out at 3 though. All these comes into play tap lands. Against the black-blue deck though, the temples are very good. So he's got the Bile Blight mana. We'll have a negate. I think we can safely put this on the bottom. I mean, this would allow us to put a Vanguard and protect it. But against a Bile Blight, that doesn't do much. Against a Languish, it doesn't do much. Another Temple of Enlightenment. We'll put a God's Willing on top. And I think we just hold off another turn. As long as we're being able to go land go, we should be okay. Soul Temple. Launch the fleet is unnecessary. Yeah, it's unnecessary at this point. It's overkill. I think we bottom it. And we Vanguard here. And I'm pretty sure like a Murderous Cut should come out and in a turn here. For the Bile Blight, this is where we will God's Willing it. And Ajani's Presence. I want to hit another creature, but I think Ajani's Presence is fine. Could go Languish here. I'd hate to see actually a Perilous Vault. It's going to be a Drown in Sorrow. Can't negate that quite yet, but that at least gets it out of the way for a Monastery Mentor to hit. And now it's just, the game is just to keep this guy alive, so hopefully he doesn't have... If he has a Drown in Sorrow, we can protect it. Thing is, he can actually have double cards. Now we have a negate backup. So we'll use a Defiant Strike. And there's another Mentor. So we'll play one threat per turn, or as needed, with the Mentor backup. And this is just going to be a nightmare for him, especially with the negate. We have a God's Willing and a negate to protect our Mentor. If you dig through times, I'll negate it. Kind of nice because it puts out another creature. But now we're just so vulnerable to a Languish. No Languish. I don't necessarily think I need to overextend here. I think I will, though. We'll Phalanx Leader. And then Defiant Strike it. Because this is putting a counter on everything. We will go and get just our planes. Attack with everything, and that is not quite lethal, is it? With double Ajani's presence. That might actually be lethal. So that goes 5, and then 8. That's 13, 14. I don't think I do. Take him down to an 8. I might end up regretting that. Would have added 4. Would have been lethal. He only has 2 cards left in his hand. If it's a Ugin, I'm done. It's not, though. The Dig Through Time, countering the Dig Through Time was 100% the difference in the game. He did get flooded out, though, but that's kind of what those decks do. They run a very high land count, 27 to 28 lands, and flooding is very, very necessary for the deck to get out the Dig Through Times and the Ugins and all the things that have the very, very high casting costs. That's how they try to stay ahead with card advantages, just through Languish, Drown in Sorrows, etc. So we win our first match. We'll go on to our next match. This has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Rogue Deck Builder. If you'd like to support Rogue Deck Builder, I highly encourage buying a playmat by clicking the link to your left. Also, if you enjoyed these top 10 videos, click on the top 10 icon to see the full playlist. Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.